Hi, ladies and gentlemen. This is Tom Clark, and this is my stand-up comedy special. So, what's the deal with ants? We always say different things about them, like you're anticipating. What is it? An ant pacing back and forth, or an antiquate, an antiquation, or an assurance. What are you doing to those ants? And you got different types of car names, like, hey, did you hear about the car that rolled over? It was a Corolla. And you hear about the car that was driven by a Vietnam vet? It was a Corvette. And you hear about the car that got in an accident and it was all caught on camera? It was and it shot like an arrow. It was a Camaro. With the toy toter, the Toyota. And you hear about a guy who's playing roulette, and he shoved it, the little rod that spins the wheel, spun the wheel. It was a Chevrolet. And you hear about these Mexicans who are coming up and taking our jobs. That's not the only thing they'll take. They'll also have your car up on boxes if you leave it at around where they are. And you hear about the tree that had a son. It was treason. And you hear about a guy who had allergies. He didn't just say, oh geez, it was in sneezing. And you hear what the bison said to his son when he left. When they left, he said, bye, son. And you got the warlock. You got a warlock, but what about the wartlock? And the destiny of the clans. Clandestine. It was very hidden. And you got the... You hear about the cow who was given a stim pack? Too late. It was overstimulated. And you hear about a dog who went to a bank. He made a deposit. And so you hear about these kids, and this kid who got caught smoking marijuana, he got caught with pot. That's a little rhyme in there too, for music. And so my friend told me he was going to be a correctional officer, an officer. I told him if I was gay, would I be officer? Did you hear about the bean? It was really good. It was being good. Did you hear about the vegetable and the veggie that made people fart? It was aspergas. I'm just kidding, it doesn't really. But it's silly, but it's funny. Did you hear about a girl who drove to the center of the earth? Her name was Cora. And, you hear about the vegetable that will spin your age back 10 years? It was spinach. And, so, you hear about the pizza that had a mind? It was Pizza Mind. And I gave him a piece of my mind. And you hear about the girl who fell asleep while doing the dishes? She was sleeping with the dishes. And you know, did Noah build a boat? Noah Ark. And you hear about the girl named Mia who people questioned with a mouthful of food if she could run a mile? The chamomile. And you hear about the brain who got splattered all over the place? They said, be rain. You hear about the Bible that was used as a tech? Nine and blasted people, blasted someone? It was a biblioteca. And did you hear? Why do mussels know so much? Why are they so intelligent? Because of muscle memory. And why can you make so much money off of having a good memory? Because the memory banks. And how do farmers mess with the soil, screw with the soil? If they're really lazy, and then they count it up after it. They tilly-tally. And you hear about the guy who had pancreatic cancer, but he was still capable of cooking things in a pan and creating things, food like eggs. And then he said to someone else that he could do it. He said that he can do it. He said, pancreatic, yes I can, sir. That's a glasses one. I need my glasses for that one. There you go. But, you hear about me petting my guinea pig and I tried and I patted it. It was wearing an American flag shirt, vest, and a windbreaker, and a little jacket. It was very patriotic. And so if I was a rapper and an uncle, I wouldn't be Uncle Cracker. I would be Bumpy Uncles. Like Bumpy Knuckles instead of Bumpy Knuckles in place of or in preposition of. And the one is Tang Orange because of orangutans. And then you hear about the tabby cat who had a lot of knuckles, big knuckles. It was a tabby knuckle. A tabernacle. And, you know, the girls, two girls, you couldn't decide on their names. One was Sally, one was Mandy. They became a salamander. And, did you hear about the woman who gave birth in Cairo? She was a mummy. And what did the sand by the ocean say in front of the ocean to all the people standing on it? Who was a hot chick full of attitude, with an attitude to a T and to a P, teed off and peed off. She said, "You're too hot for this beach." And what did the color violet say when it finished doing something, when it completed something? It said, voila! And you hear about the guy who got a reward for losing all his muscles, all his muscle mass? He got a trophy. A trophy. Whatever. I don't even know. I don't really care. I don't really care. Who knows? Who cares? And you hear about the guy who stole a pen? He depended. He depended on it. And you hear about the nose or the snaz that was cooled? It was very snazzy. Instead of snazzy. And you hear, I think it's rude. It's so rude, isn't it? Make an ant late and tell an ant to be late. That's what the word blatant does. The word blatant says, be late, ant. And did you hear about the guy who couldn't decide whether to sing Figaro or to eat a pickerel? And Figaro, Figaro, pickerel, pickerel, Figaro, Figaro, pickerel, pickerel. And why do girls named Karen make such good nurses? Because they're caring. Hear about a girl named Tina who could row? She was Rotini. And hear about the ant who was silly twice. He was very resilient. And did you hear about the magician who was a drunk? He was rummaging, a rummage. And so sheep go to sleep. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. Don't be confused, because sheep has an H in it and sleep has an L in it. How old are the four sheep who were each 4 years old? Who were eating grass? They were foraging. And you hear about the German guy who he didn't want to eat? He said, instead of saying nom nom nom, he said nein nein nein. Nein means no in German. Nein means no. And so chocolate is really about your coworker being late. Chocolate. And my mommy doesn't drink hot chocolate, but she does like to talk a lot. She talks a lot. So, she is into hot chocolate. Hot chocolate. And, you know the Bell who could talk? It was Talkie Bell. And you hear about the Dunkin' Donuts? They got thanked in Germany. It was a donkey bell. Donkey means thank you in German. And did you hear about the porcupine? I think it's the word porcupine. I think porcupines and the word porcupine, porcupines and the word porcupines originated from two words, actually, truly, deeply. And that was the word pork and pine limbs from the tree. Because cavemen originally must have said, I pork, you pine. I get the pork meat and you get the pine trees, logs, limbs, and pieces. And I got two more. What do you call a little person who sneezes? Miniature instead of miniature, like miniature golf. And last but not least, what do you call Betty Crocker from Australia? In Australia, Betty Craigie. That's all I got. That's probably about 15 minutes. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's good. We're good. You're good. Everybody's good.